H. Moser & Company's Pioneer collection is known for being the sporty one, the outdoorsy type, in comparison to its more elegant sibling, the Endeavour. But who said it wasn't possible to be both sporty and elegant at the same time? Not Moser. That's why the Pioneer Tourbillon Burgundy exists, what should be a complete oxymoron, but may just be all the watch you'd ever need. Here's everything you need to know about the H. Moser & Company Pioneer Tourbillon Burgundy. Whilst the Endeavour collection, or at least watches of that style, have existed within the Moser catalogue since its revival in the early 2000s, it wasn't until the mid-2010s that a sportier edition joined in alongside it. It makes sense. The Endeavour is the perfect accompaniment to a fine dinner or a day at the races, but when things start taking a turn for the adventurous, it's perhaps best to leave them safe at home. But the typical Moser collector doesn't want to leave their Moser at home, they want to take it with them at every opportunity. And so with a more rugged case, flanked with textured gills and capable water resistance, the Pioneer broke down the boundaries of where and when it was possible to wear a piece of fine watchmaking. And that's what the Pioneer is, a piece of fine watchmaking. Moser didn't strip back all the luxuries to create an out-and-out sports watch. They kept much of the elegance of the Endeavour and battle-hardened it to take on any challenge. It's like an armour-plated top hat, classy yet indestructible. But this is Moser we're talking about. Where others would rest on their laurels on a job well done, Moser is busy looking to see if there's a next step it can take. No downtime for any laurels here. And so for the Pioneer Tourbillon Burgundy, a combination of beautiful colours, precious metals and wildly exotic complication have been brought together for a meeting they never expected to have. This is a dress watch you could wear in the Special Forces. It's a bit like getting your head around quantum physics, how light exhibits both wave and particle-like properties. Only here you don't have Neil deGrasse Tyson to help you understand. You have me instead. The dial, a strong fumé gradient of black to burgundy, is built up of hundreds of coatings to give it its own version of quantum entanglement. Fiery pillars of light reaching out in opposite directions to connect both sides of the dial. Pulsars of deep burgundy that double down with every point light source. Stand in your kitchen with this thing and you might think you're about to meet Stanley Kubrick. It's one of Moser's best assets, its incredible dials, and in this case it's fitted with the chunky, readable but no less elegant Pioneer hands and markers in red gold, which get complemented with luminous paint to make it readable both in the dark and underwater, should you so wish. Unlike the completely clean concept-style dial, this receives an application of branding in a clear lacquer, which remains hidden in most lights and can only be seen at just the right angle. Moser are so confident that their watches are easily distinguishable that it's kept the logo subtle for added dial enjoyment. Along with the red gold hands and markers comes an equally red gold 40mm case, smaller than some previous Pioneers for an extra touch of class. This is specifically, because trust Moser to be anal about the details, 5N red gold, a deep red that pairs with the burgundy like a slice of salmon pairs with a glass or 5 of Pinot Noir. Unexpected, maybe even a little unorthodox, but give it a try and there'll be no complaining. Here's where the watch takes a turn for the urbex. Usually a red gold case set with a burgundy dial would receive a means to keep it strapped onto the wrist as classy as itself, a black crocodile leather or perhaps even a matching red gold bracelet, but no. Too delicate or too heavy. A sports watch needs something robust, breathable and lightweight. Something like rubber. And not just any old rubber, but an earthy green so well camouflaged even the predator couldn't see it. It sounds wild, like it would go together with this watch like chalk and a thing you should definitely not put chalk with, but actually, it does work. And there's a scientific reason for that. Our eyes receive light with rods and cones, and whilst the rods only receive low-level light in monochrome so you can see what's going to jump out of the dark and eat you, the cones detect light across 3 different colours: red, green and blue. It's evolved to make certain colours register in the most contrasting way, like the famous teal and blue colour grading seen in summer blockbusters. So when some dude is running at you against a clear blue sky, you don't miss him. Every colour that can be detected by your eyes has an opposite colour, picked up by the immediately opposing combination of rods. In colour theory, these colours are called complementary, And I think you can already guess where this is going. Where the burgundy and red gold exist in the same arena and would be classified as perhaps analogous, the green and burgundy sit at complete opposites to each other and so would be considered complementary. So whilst the idea of luscious, luxurious burgundy and battle tank green seem to be contextually unlikely, the net result is something that your brain may not quite understand, but your eyes do. But this is Moser, remember, and so moderation is for losers. If you're going to make the sportiest luxury watch ever, it's going to need a complication that ordinarily wouldn't be seen outside a king's court: the tourbillon. Not only is it one of the greatest, most considered mechanisms in all of watchmaking, they're usually actually pretty delicate. Moser disagrees. Built to neutralize the disastrous effects of gravity on a watch's accuracy, the tourbillon keeps the most delicate part of a watch movement, the escapement, constantly rotating so gravity affects it equally. It's like the watchmaking equivalent of a gelato machine, constantly turning the gelato so it never gets frozen in one spot. But this is Moser, so although a tourbillon is already very extra, this one's even more so. It's a flying tourbillon, which means the top half of that fine mechanism is not supported by a bridging structure. You'll see on most tourbillons a piece of metal covering up all the good stuff, and Moser doesn't want to cover up all the good stuff. Instead, they've gone to great pains to make this tourbillon capable of surviving the rigors of its adventurous intentions, while still looking effortlessly cool the whole time. It's basically Judgment Day Arnie. But this is Moser. Are you getting it yet? So a tourbillon, even a flying one by itself, just isn't going to cut the mustard. Literally tens of other brands have tourbillons too, so this one needs to be better. Enter Precision Engineering AG, Moser's sister company, and one of just a few capable of manufacturing hairsprings. It's the hardest and most delicate thing to make in any wristwatch. When a hairspring does its thing, coiling and uncoiling, it always does so in the same way, over and over. The tourbillon here rotates it, which is great for beating gravity and everything, but you can always do more, which Moser has. They found a matching hairspring, which at these tolerances is like finding the Higgs boson in an elementary particle stack, and set them opposing each other, so as one beats one way, the other beats the other, cancelling any last gravitational difference out. Of course, the Pioneer Tourbillon Burgundy gets all the creature comforts of a sports watch, such as automatic winding for the caliber HMC 805's healthy 72-hour power reserve, plus of course that 120 meters of water resistance. But it also gets all the fineries of a luxury watch too, with meticulous finishing of the partially skeletonized reverse view of the caliber, plus a solid gold winding rotor. Unlike many watches, it's not built for one particular thing. It's not a dive watch for divers, or a chronograph watch for drivers, or even a pilot's watch for pilots. It's quite simply the most luxurious everyday watch you could imagine. And really, it begs the question, why wear something boring when you could be wearing this instead?